Hey guys, it's Sharon from Digital Nomad Quest.
And this is Sean with Everything REI.
And today we're gonna go over how much we spent on our wedding. Now, if you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I'm all about teaching you how to build passive income, become financially free, and design your best life. So if you guys are interested in that, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button to be notified of my latest videos. Make sure to subscribe to Sean's channel where he talks all about real estate investing. So this has been a highly requested topic ever since we got married. A lot of people have been asking how much our wedding costs, and we're finally breaking down the numbers today. So according to Business Insider, the average wedding cost $22,500 in 2021, but 2019 and before it was about $30,000-ish. But I think after the pandemic, the costs got lower because people had smaller weddings. So people do spend a lot on their weddings. Some of our friends in the Bay Area actually spent like 6 figures on their weddings. So this is definitely a big deal. Obviously, it's a huge occasion in people's lifetime. So I understand why people would want to spend so much.
Well, here's our take on it. We don't feel like the wedding is the most important part of a relationship. So as long as gathering of people, our friends and family, then it's good enough for us.
I think if it's something you value, that totally makes sense to spend more on your special day. I think for us, we didn't care as much. So we actually got paper married in December. So we already were married by that time, but we had our wedding ceremony in March. Mainly for friends and family. Like, people wanted to see the ceremony. They wanted to be there and celebrate us. And that was mainly why we had one. But after the whole thing, I was actually very pleased and was like, oh, I could do this again. Like, it was a really fun time. So here's some footage from our wedding.
So for us, it was important to have that gathering of friends, but we also wanted to be smart with our money and not break the bank for a one-day occasion.
I think in this episode, you'll see a lot of our breakdown, as well as we'll kind of run through our reasoning so you guys can see how you could save as well on your special day if it interests you.
So we got engaged in August of 2021, and after a couple of weeks, she actually started looking at different venues. So we looked across the United States. We also looked into different countries. Like, we were even planning on doing a destination wedding over in Bali.
Yeah, that was mainly what I wanted initially, but because of COVID and everything like that, we decided against it, and we decided to do one locally in the Bay Area, California, where we're from, because a lot of our friends and family are there.
Especially when it comes to our relatives. Like, my grandma is in no condition to be traveling, so flying overseas was not an option, but driving an hour to our wedding venue was totally doable.
So locally, we actually visited maybe 3 venues, and they were all inclusive. We were looking for an all-inclusive venue because it made the work a lot easier. They would already have vendors that they would work with instead of me having to call a bunch of different ones, like for flowers, for food and everything like that. They already had a lot of that included, which made my life a lot easier, but it still ended up being a decent amount of planning, even though it was all inclusive. But going over the numbers, so we ended up choosing a venue that had these package pricings. This is the 2022 guide, and we had the choice of 2022 or 2023 here, but we decided to go 2022, and we looked at the dates, right? So if you did December to March, it was free if you did, Monday to Thursday or Friday, Sunday, Saturday day. That's for the venue, but you still had to pay for the ceremony venue, I guess. I think this is for the reception. Initially, we're like, okay, maybe to save money, we could do like November or April. But then I was like, what if we just like rushed it and did March of 2022, right? And we looked at this in November.
And when we were actually visiting the venue, they had a poster saying that if you book your venue within 120 days of your actual wedding, then you'll get an additional $500 off. We figured, hey, it's end of November. We can have our wedding at the end of March and save an additional $500 on top of all these different savings.
Yeah, we were meeting with the person, and I suggested it, and you're like, no, that's crazy.
That's too short.
Yeah, it was like 4 months away, and we were like, maybe we can't do it, but I was like, it might be perfect. The weather is gonna be good. Like, it's end of March. It's better than November. That would probably be a lot colder, and this way I could just knock it out and not have to stress about it, because I was honestly stressing about the idea of walking down the aisle and everyone watching me kiss you. Like, I don't know, I was like really stressed out about it. So I wanted to get it over with ASAP. So it actually worked out a lot better to schedule it so soon. Doing this, right, if you look here, we didn't have to pay for the venue cost. We also got a $500 discount. If we book 2023, the prices go up for everything too, if you can see here. So 2022 is a lot better. And we actually decided to go for the elite package. So this was something we were debating for a long time.
Yeah, so the difference between, classic, premium, and elite is just the different things that each person gets. Like how many meal choices do we have? What kind of alcohol choices do we have? All these kind of things add to the individual per person cost. But the thing that they don't show you on this price guide is every venue has a minimum. So you need to spend at least $8,000 or so before taxes and service charges. Ultimately, we actually didn't even have that many people. So at first, we were thinking about going the premier route because it was more like bang for your buck value. But then it turns out we didn't have enough people to invite. So then we just said, let's go elite and have a super great time.
Yeah, for the elite, they had like the nice chairs that I wanted. They had the open bar. Honestly, open bar was like the minimum thing we needed. That's like my number one concern is like I want everyone to have a good time. So I was like, you know what? I don't want them to have to pay for drinks or anything like that. To me, food choices, I was like, whatever. But turns out we had the best food apparently. Like a lot of people complimented our food, saying it was a lot better than a lot of the weddings they've been to. We didn't even try it out beforehand, so we got lucky with that, I guess. They also had like sparklers, photo booth, a lot of different things that I was like, oh, it's gonna be nice to have that.
Yeah, so basically, even though we were doing a quote-unquote discount wedding, it actually turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
And we got everything that we would normally have in a full-fledged wedding without paying that enormous cost.
The elite package also included $750 credit for certain like knickknacks. Like you could have used it for invites, but we were like, let's just text our friends to like invite them to the wedding and then use that credit for other like knickknacks that would be great for the wedding.
We got like a wedding runner for her to walk down the aisle.
A lot of personalized things, like personalized pillows and like cake
champagne
cutter.
flutes.
Champagne flutes. Yeah, we just got small things that made it look like, oh, we put some detail into our wedding, which is kind of nice. So we had about 62 guests, I believe, including us two.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, because of the limited amount of guest space we had, we only invited our best friends and our super close family members. And now sometimes in weddings, you have to invite like a second cousin or something like that and whatever. But this time we were like really specific. And if they weren't serious about dating in person, then they didn't get a +1 either. So the cool thing is also because we had a set limit of spots, if people were to drop out last minute, we were able to get someone else who was local to come in. So we actually didn't waste any space.
Yeah, we really didn't want a big wedding, especially with the pandemic. We didn't want people to be scared. People were already a little bit fearful coming to the wedding. So we had to put in some processes in place, make sure people were tested and vaccinated and things like that. But also the venue was great in that if you had changes up to like a week prior, you can still keep moving things around, change the guest amount and things like that. So they were really nice about that. Basically, we had the $8,000 minimum, like you mentioned, but they gave us all these bonuses, like these fancy drapes in the reception area, as well as this like hexagon stand that we really liked behind the cake. Those normally cost like an extra $500 or so, like on top, but they're like, it's fine, we'll throw it in for us to like hit the minimum, and they didn't charge us over that minimum. So like subtotal, I believe it was like $7,900, but we basically put that up to $8,000. The total was $10,505.06 for the ceremony, reception, and all the things they included. You know, the elite package is about $124 per guest. We also had $995 for the venue. There's a security guard fee of $250, and then we removed some of these things. Like we didn't really need wine or champagne and toast when it was open bar. Like we didn't think that was really necessary. We also were already married in December, so we didn't need actual ministry services. We just had like a good friend officiate the wedding, just say some nice words. And like Sean mentioned, we had the $500 discount. After that $8,000 minimum, they had a service charge that was $1,760. And then $745 for sales tax, and then the subtotal was $10,505. It was kind of nice. Like the service charge is a lot, but it's like, okay, I don't have to think about gratuity and stuff anymore. It's already included here. So that was kind of nice.
So another place where a lot of people spend a lot of money is on the attire for the day. So the men get dressed up and they maybe buy all of the groomsmen's suits. Of course, the bride has her wedding dress try-on party. And sometimes dresses go for several $1,000s because they're very nicely made. But the thing is, you usually wear that dress one time in your life, then you bag it up and you keep it in a closet for memory's sake. For us, it didn't really make a lot of sense to spend all that money on one thing that you only wear one time. So we actually bought our stuff pretty cheap.
I guess technically for the dress, I spent about $350. So it's like $205 $93 plus this $150 for alterations. So basically my $200 came from like 5 dresses purchased, because basically I thought you go in with the actual dress for the ceremony, but then when it comes to reception, I probably have to dance and stuff. So I was like, okay, I probably should switch out to another dress.
How are you going to dance with that long train behind you, right? It's not going to work.
So basically the main dress, I spent $162.22, but then for like the other 4 dresses somehow totaled to like $43.71, because I just bought them like all on sale on this like wedding dress website. And I was just like, something's gonna work. So what happened was I wore the main dress for the ceremony, and then I had a tailor alter it so that I had a hook thing like under the dress, so I could like make the train shorter so that I could walk in easily in the reception area. We didn't even do a first dance. We didn't do the mother-son, father-daughter thing. We just didn't want it to be super stressful. I don't have to learn anything. I didn't want to worry about falling. I was like, once this ceremony's over, I don't have to stress anymore, right? It's like done. So it was just easier for me to walk around to table with the shorter dress. I could have danced in that dress with that hook. It actually made things so much easier. But I changed into another dress when, you know, everyone started dancing, like the whole party thing started. So it worked out. I didn't use like 3 of the dresses. They're still in my closet, unworn, but it worked out. And I did wear that same dress for my paper marriage in December. So there are multiple uses. It worked out.
And from my side, I told my friends, hey, we're going to make it super casual. Just wear black suit, white shirt, and black tie. Most men have that in their cabinet somewhere, so it's very easy for them to just have that. For me, again, I didn't want to spend a lot of money on a tuxedo. So what we ended up doing was I have this white shirt that I wear all the time. I bought a bow tie, and then we went to Zara actually to find the jacket. So we just had this white jacket I got from Zara for $40. Got it altered so that the sleeves looked good and all this stuff. And then total cost ended up being around, $107.
The suit itself was $57.16. The alterations for the suit was $70.
It was a $40 jacket, but because of shipping it to our house and taxes, it ended up being $57.
Basically, we saw this walking around the mall, and then we saw this mannequin wearing this white thing. I was like, that could work.
But they didn't have it in the store, so we had to get it shipped to our house.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a random occurrence, but it worked out really well.
And the tailoring cost more than the suit itself, which is pretty funny.
So $128 for the shirt and pants, and then $98.43 for the shoes.
So the funny thing is, for the shirt and pants, right? The pants are the pants that I wear all the time. These are just regular pants that I usually wear Express anyway, but I wanted a new one because the old ones I had were dirty. The shirt I bought Express, I didn't even wear that one because that one wrinkled too much, so I ended up just using my J. Crew one that I've had in the closet this whole time.
Okay.
And yeah, shoes, I got new shoes because the ones I had before are kind of worn down. And $100 for a nice pair of black shoes. You can wear those all the time, so it's multi-purpose.
Yeah, so totaling that up for the attire is about $775.13, which is a lot better than spending thousands and thousands of dollars. I've seen some on Facebook groups selling for like 10 grand or like they bought it for 10 or 20, like
for a wedding dress.
Yeah, so it can add up, and that's cool if you like that. Like, I'm not judging, but it's just like this was good for us. In terms of bridesmaids dresses, they actually all got their own dress. I just found one on one of those cheap websites as well. It was like, I think it was like 60 or 70 or something for their Dusty Rose dresses.
Yeah, and then you just told them to buy all the same version, right? Just the different sizes for whatever they're...
Yep, exactly. Yeah. It was very casual. Like, I know a lot of people are very particular. I was just like, okay, this one, and then they just picked it up. And then hair and makeup. So I know people get it for their bridesmaids, but I didn't care either. So like they just did their own. And then for me, they actually ended up paying for mine. I didn't want them to, but they wanted to gift me that. So that part was paid for. I paid for my mom's makeup, which is like $90. And then for nails, I decided to pay for all my bridesmaids, so it was like $140 for nails. I didn't really care either for nails, but like it was a good way for us to kind of gather and then like do that. Some of my bridesmaids went, not all of them. So yeah, that was $140.
So when it came to the wedding rooms, let me tell you a quick story about what happened and why we decided to go with these. When we first got engaged, we went to a very nice store and I bought her a very beautiful diamond ring. And within 2 months, she lost the ring. And it was a very sad moment for all of us because we spent that money and now it's gone forever. So because of that, we realized that the rings itself don't matter too much, right? They're just a symbol of our love. So when I bought this one, this actually looks pretty good. You can't really see it too well on the camera here because of the focus. But this one has some very shiny looking diamond things and a beautiful silver band. And this cost me a whopping $15 on Amazon. And because I know she likes to lose jewelry, I bought her 2 of them. That's $30 right here. And then for my ring, it's a very nice thick tungsten ring, unscratchable, very hard surface material. I got this on Amazon for $10. So another beautiful purchase. So at my wedding, I was actually bragging about my friends about how beautiful my ring was for just $10.
Yeah, I think like after losing the engagement ring, I was like, this is causing me more sadness than it should, right? And it's like when you buy those expensive things, that's another thing you have to worry about. So that's why with these rings, I was like, can we not go expensive? Like, I just want to have something. If I lose it, I don't have to like feel that bad about. Even my engagement ring, we didn't spend that much, like compared to other people. Some people go over 10K. I guess that's normal. We spent $2,000, so we didn't go all out for it. I don't wear jewelry that much, so it's not something I care about too much. So that's the story behind the wedding rings.
So going back to the spreadsheet and looking at our wedding rings cost for $48.43, it's because we bought 2 of these for Sharon at $15 each. And then we bought this one for me at $10, and then you have taxes. So.
And then the wedding paperwork was $173. That's the cost of when we got paper married, getting all that process. So we had some miscellaneous items. The vows, I was concerned about like, if I had a piece of paper, it'd be all flimsy, maybe it'd blow around. So I got cardboard-ish paper. It was $6.
And I memorized my vows, so $0 for me.
Now, when it comes to the welcome and the seating chart, you have to kind of order like a nice big sign. Well, you don't have to, but that's what we did. I kind of messed up because when I ordered the seating chart, it was incorrect because people started backing out and I had to get new people in. I had to rearrange some of the seating because of that. And I ordered the seating chart before all those changes happened. So that was $22.82. That was wasted. And then I ordered a wedding sign that I found was too small. So that was a waste as well. So that was $20.64 that I wasted. But then I ordered the signs again and that was $51.66. So total we spent like $95 on the seating chart and the signs and things like that.
So those seating charts and the welcome signs are just, pieces of paper. So they're not firm enough to actually stand. You're supposed to put it in a frame. What we did was we just bought some styrofoam at Michael's, cut it to size, and then we taped the poster onto that styrofoam board.
So that was another $20 added. And basically total for the signs was about $115.12. Don't mess up like how I did. You should maybe order those towards the end and make sure you order the right size that you actually want. So take out a ruler, see, how big it is and see if that's the right size for you. But it did make, I think, the entrance and like going into the reception a lot nicer. Like you see these big signs, they look really nice. Thought it added to the aesthetic and things like that. They also provided easels for us. So, having that all-inclusive venue is really nice. And the person there was kind of like our wedding planner in a sense of they like kept in touch with us and made sure that everything was going smoothly. Even throughout planning sessions, they would ask us all the questions that they needed answered in order for them to prepare our special day for us. And then wedding table numbers, we did buy some with the credit, but I decided to buy new ones because it just looked a lot nicer. Bought it for $17.63. So I also ordered a photo book of our engagement photos, and that was $40.10. And it just has like these nice big pictures of all the pictures we took before the wedding. And this was a nice addition. We had this nice sign-in area. It had the photo book, the little box for gifts, as well as other little trinkets. And it just made the experience nicer for people coming in. So before the wedding day, we had a little rehearsal at the ceremony venue, and we wanted to have a gathering with the wedding party, like have drinks somewhere.
So yeah, we went to a local bar and we played some games like Taboo and that one card game, Mad Gabs. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. I only spent like $50 and, bought drinks for people. It was a good way for people to get to know each other and just have a good time. And we actually had drinks afterwards, so we spent $66 on drinks for that as well, because I figured after the wedding it'd be fun if all of us went to our hotel room and just like had a good time. That was a great idea because I actually watched a movie where they were having fun like that, playing beer pong and all these things after the ceremony. I was like, oh, I never thought to do that. And the ones that I attended never really did that, but we had a good time at our little hotel party. And we booked the hotel for $144. Total with all of that was $260 for drinks in the hotel.
Oh yeah, another big part of a wedding's cost are the photos and videos that they pay for. Sometimes that can go to like $5,000 or $10,000 range as well.
We didn't want to spend that much on that. We already had nice cameras with us. We knew that, we could get some good shots if we used our cameras, but we did hire my friend who helped us take photos that day. I also asked my other friend to hold one of our cameras to take some videos of the event. I also included here our engagement photo shoot. So we did hire someone to take some photos around Dallas. I thought that would be nice because it's also like we moved to a new city. So we actually moved to Dallas in January and we got some nice photos taken around the city. So we spent about $108 for the engagement photo shoot. For video, obviously it's just my friend holding the camera, but just sent a little $100 gift for that. We got some video editing done, just like $85 to piece certain things together. It wasn't like a super fancy video thing. It was more like, here are all the videos of the event and one little nice one of just some music in the background and stuff like that. So nothing crazy fancy, but I'm glad we have some footage of the whole thing actually. And then for the photographer, we spent $600, so like $500 and then plus $100 thank you. We got photo editing done for another photo shoot we did, like another engagement photo shoot that my brother did for us. And then for more photo editing, this basically happened because my friend didn't end up really color correcting our photos, and after 2 months he said, oh, I can't do this. So we ended up hiring someone on Fiverr, paid $133.61 to actually photo edit like hundreds of photos, like 500 photos, and that included wedding photos and some of my other stuff that I wanted edited, but I think mainly the wedding photos looked nice from her edits. I think some of the other ones that I sent over were already sort of edited, so adding the filters that she added was maybe a little too much, but the wedding photos look really good and I'm glad that I hired her to do that. So total ended up being $1,071 for video, photo, and engagement photo shoot. So that's actually really good. I'm glad we did that. So if you ever want to save on that, this is a route. Like maybe you can ask friends and family. And if you already have a nice camera, you could get those photos done with those and then like hire someone on Fiverr to get the photos color corrected and things like that. This is a route, but I would say that like a little bit less official, right? Like if you do have someone who's officially done this before, like they have done weddings, like they will tell you how to pose. They will get the exact shots that you might want. That's something to consider. I do think photo and video is pretty important. Like when it comes to our wedding, priorities were I wanted everyone to have a good time, open bar, I want to have some nice photos. So that means I did care to get my makeup and hair done, whereas like other people probably just do it themselves if they wanted to save money. But we decided to pay for these certain things that we cared about. So obviously when looking at these numbers, there are things that we could have saved on, but it's just like there's things that we did value and we wanted to make sure to cover those things. So in addition to all the things that the venue covered, and that included food, that included like the sparklers that came up, it included the venue spaces, little flower center pieces that it included. So it included a lot of things. And by the way, like when it came to that, they just asked us like, okay, which kind of foods do you want? What kind of flowers do you want? What cake do you want? It was easy, but it was still a lot of decisions. Now, going to that number, okay, it was $10,505 for the subtotal, and then like adding all these additions ended up being $2,737 for these additions. And then the grand total was $13,242.13. So I think we did pretty good. This didn't include my engagement ring. That was $2,000 that I lost. This is the wedding costs, not the engagement cost, even though I included the engagement photo shoot, but essentially about $13,000, which I think was pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's really affordable, especially considering that a lot of our friends, especially those in the Bay Area, are spending between $50,000 and even $100,000 on their wedding.
Or even more sometimes. But to us, like this works for us. That might work for them and totally cool with it. No judgment again, because I think this is like once in a lifetime that you have this day to celebrate with your loved ones, your spouse, and it's like an important milestone. So it's something that it's okay to like spend more money on. But I think for us, we're just happy with how we did it. And a lot of our friends actually came up to us, thought like it was really great. And, when he asked them, how much do you think it was? They were like, okay, now since you said that, like maybe 30,000. And that's because
I primed them to guess low.
Yes.
And low for them was 30,000.
Exactly. That made it even more special to me because it's like, oh, that means everyone had a good time. They didn't think it was like a crappy wedding or something like that. So I think we got a lot of value out of that $13,000. The photos look great too, as you may have seen throughout this video. Quite happy with how everything went, and after the special day, I'm like, I can see why people spend more money on this just because it was actually a really special day for us. It's like one of the only days where everyone comes to celebrate just like us, right? So that was really awesome.
So to summarize, if people want to save money on their wedding,
I think first just like see which parts of the wedding you value, which ones you're more okay to spend money on. But yeah, quick tips for us. What we did was, we checked if friends and family could help on anything like photos and videos. We hired, someone on Fiverr to help do color correction on photos. We also ordered our apparel online and at Zara, it doesn't have to be that expensive. So we didn't spend thousands on a dress because I didn't really care for that. That's only if you don't care for those things.
And then we also shopped around a lot for a venue that was affordable and had a minimum that hit, I guess our threshold. Because other venues have minimums of like 30,000, 50,000. That's probably where the bulk of their funds are going towards, the venue.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, everything I read, they were saying head count is the thing that matters. Like, if you have a lower head count, you're just going to save a lot. And also that the venue matters a lot, like you mentioned. So for us, we got it to $124 per guest, bare bones, like without all the other things. So that was pretty good, right? It includes food and everything like that. So when you're doing this, shop around for venues and see like what their package pricing is. Try to get ones with package pricing, to be honest. Like, I thought that was really nice. But I would say if you did DIY it, there's people who do it like in their backyards and things like that. They save a lot of money because they might just get like a taco truck and then that like is their food for the night. That works really well too. So for us, we wanted to have something like all inclusive so we didn't have to like spend a lot of time thinking about it. But yeah, that's about it. Also the rings, right? For a lot of the people we talked to, they were saying like, oh, I don't even remember where my ring is, like my engagement ring. And a lot of people did not notice like our rings like were from Amazon, $10. They thought it was way more money, right? So things to consider if you wanted to save money. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know it's kind of a long one, but it really went through the breakdown of all of our costs, and hopefully that allows you to see how you can save on your own wedding. But if you want to spend more on your wedding, that's okay too. If you guys like this episode, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified of my latest videos. Also comment below if you guys have any other money saving tips for weddings, and also make sure to subscribe to Sean's channel where he talks all about real estate investing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.